Hello and welcome. I'm just going to change my name here so you know who I am. It's Sean, but I'm just putting my full name. There you go. All right. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday, everyone. It is Friday the 27th. We're almost into April. So as you come into the Zoom, I'm going to give it a few minutes for everyone to get in so I don't get started and have to repeat stuff. But if you would like to tell me your name and where you are zooming in from, you can speak to me through the chat button or no, Q&A button. I'm sorry. The Q&A button. So if you use the Q&A button, you can ask me a question, but right now you can also just say hi. Um, but my name is Sean. I am zooming in today from Brooklyn, New York. Let me just see. Oh, we got Sharon here. Sharon's also in New York City. I know that because I've met Sharon. She's great. And we've got Julie from Pennsylvania. Welcome, Julie. We've got Dina from Virginia. Welcome. Hey, Kai. Welcome back. We've got Rob. Welcome, Rob. We have Bryce from Speedwell, Tennessee. All right, welcome. We have Amy from Kansas, and it's good to have you here. I can't see everyone, so I say it's nice to see you, but it's great to have you here with us. Thank you for that compliment. You're very sweet. Hey Jake, from Huntington Beach, California. Nice to meet you as well. Welcome. We've got Lloyd from, and I think it's Enid, Oklahoma. That's a cool name. I like that. Welcome. We have Carol from Southwest City, Missouri. Welcome. We have Iman from Petersburg, Virginia. All right. Very nice. Brad from Ottawa. All right. Canada is representing. We've got Corey from Bemidji, Minnesota, I think. I'm not quite sure how to say that, but I tried. We've got Sharon from Southern California. You're very welcome. I'm happy to be here. Ron from Brooklyn. All right, Ron. We've got Sergio from Chicago. Welcome. We have Ashley from Owensville, Kentucky, and I'm glad you came back, Ashley. Welcome back. We've got it's either Dina or Deanna from Michigan. Freya from Indiana. We have people from all over. This is great. Lindsay from Ada, Oklahoma. Welcome. And we've got Doc and saying howdy from Texas. Well, howdy right back. We've got Stephanie from Kansas City. Welcome back, Stephanie. You've got Rob is from Miami, Florida. All right. Oh, you're probably enjoying some beautiful weather. We've got Sunday from uh, Temecula, California. I hope I pronounced that correctly. We've got Mike from Tacoma. Welcome, Mike. We've got Alejandro from, or Alex, sorry, from Downey, California. All right. We've got Stephen from New Orleans. Oh my goodness, we have so many places. We've got Coach Glenn from Pensacola, Florida. I visited there when I was younger. It was beautiful. Jose in Cleveland, but originally from Queens, neighbors. We've got Jeff from Tampa. I also love Tampa. I've been there many times. Maurice from Philly. All right. Brotherly love. Zooming in. Weldon from Texas. Very nice. We've got, and nice to see you again, Fox from Chicago. Welcome back. And Robert's from Orlando, Florida. All right. I love Orlando too. And yes, Doc is here. And then Wayne is from, I think it's Joliet, Illinois. Maybe it's pronounced differently because a lot of names in the Midwest are French. We've got Heather from Chicago and Florida. Very cool. That's a wonderful combo. We have Leslie from Cameron Park, California, and I'm glad that you're back. This is great. Brandon from Los Angeles. Welcome, Brandon. Eddie from Atlanta. All right. Very nice. And then Ryan's coming in from Bonita, California. Oh, very nice. Very nice. And we've got Robert from Orlando, Florida. We have Ramon from Hollywood, Florida. Also lovely. And I visited there as well. We have Kennard from historic Baltimore, which Baltimore is absolutely gorgeous. I'm very happy that I got to visit there in December. It was too cold. And I was right on the water, so it was very cold, but I loved it. Hey Steve, I know you're in Iowa, but happy Friday to you. And we have Sudan from New York. Welcome. And then Steve is coming from Dallas. We've got a wonderful variety of locations today. This is great. Well, I love that everyone's zooming in from all over US and Canada, because today I'm going to talk about self-tape auditions. And if you've been to this exact webinar before with me, I do talk about some of the same things every time, just in case people haven't been to see this before. I go through the technical stuff at first, but if you've ever been to any workshop with me, you know that I improvise and kind of go on the fly and have fun. So there'll definitely be different information tonight. But since you were all here from different parts of the country, just so you know, that is something that has allowed people from all over to be able to audition. So a self-tape is technically just an audition that you tape. They use the word tape like it's a videotape. It's not even a tape anymore, it's digital. You record a video, an audition, and you record it yourself, usually in your home, but people also rent studios sometimes. I think that's insane when you can do it yourself with your phone. And you then will submit it when you have an audition. So it's tough because none of us are cinematographers, probably. And if you are, great. That's awesome. You've got like you already know what to do. I work at a photo studio, so I work for a headshot photographer. So I don't really know anything about photography in the sense that I don't know, click, but I know how to light and make sure things look good and make sure things sound good. And so I'm lucky that I'm constantly surrounded by it all the time. So it has definitely made my life a lot easier in the transition from auditioning in person to auditioning with self-tapes. Just to explain the audition process a little bit, what happens is there is a project of some sort that is either a commercial, TV, film, it could even be theater, it could be opera, it could be ballet, whatever they're looking for. They need you to audition, but they don't need you to come in person, but they want you to submit a tape. So, what usually happens with an audition is there is a casting that goes out, and it is called a breakdown. Breakdown Services is a company that actually like deals with a lot of TV and film. They own Actors Access, which is a website that you can look for castings. I'm giving you a lot of stuff today, but just know I'll give you more specifics and I'll explain. Maybe even I'll type it out so you can see it. So a breakdown is just listing of characters and then a little bit of information about them. Sometimes it's their age, sometimes it's their kind of look. Maybe they look gruff or they look tough. And then it's also a little bit of maybe their personality. Are they shy? Are they, angry? Like whatever they are in that scene or in that story. And I'm sorry that I'm yawning. I've had a very long day. So it is just that is me. That is my long day, and I'm here for you. So apologize. I apologize for that. Um, so when they are putting out a casting, these are casting directors or people that are involved in a TV, film, or commercial, usually for on camera. They put out what they need. They need specifically this. And then you can go on, or if you happen to have representation with an agent or manager, they go on for you onto websites that have castings. And then you submit and you send them headshot, your listings of all of your talents. I love that because we all have very specific things that we can do. And sometimes you'll get a job because you can rollerblade. And then if they would like you to audition, they will send you what they want you to audition with. And usually it is for TV and film, it's called sides. It's usually a scene or scenes, depending on the size of the character. And for commercials, it is called copy. So it's commercial copy. That's really just the dialogue you'll be saying. Commercials are usually much less, unless you're doing some sort of pharmaceutical where you have to talk about very crazy names and get it right. So that's the time where you'll talk a lot is when you do something that's very like business and specific. But usually you've seen commercials. They're very like short and easy and fun. Um, Good question, Fox. Asking about my, like, maybe it's because of mine, but ask, do you find salt and pepper hairs better than dyed color for headshots and reels? I don't know the answer to that. I'm not casting anything, so I can't tell you if dyeing your hair makes your chances go up. I don't know. I let my hair be natural because I like it. So that's me. It makes me look a little bit older, so. That's fine. But whatever you enj want your hair to be, or your facial hair to be, or your style to be, just know that it should be that way when you audition as well. So that's that's side note. Someone asked a question about headshots. I'm really talking today about self-tapes. And welcome, we have someone else from New Orleans. We have Andre. Great, welcome. Okay, so you get the audition, you get the script, and which is either sides for TV or film, or it is copy for commercial, and then you have to film it. So that was the lead in to what I'm going to talk about now. You just have to film it and make it so that you present whatever you want to do for the audition so they can watch it. And when I say whatever you want to do for the audition, that's the artist part. That's the part where you get to decide what you're going to wear, how you're going to style your hair and look, and like how you're going to deliver whatever dialogue it is that you have. That is your choice, and that is great because that is what you get to have an input, an artistic input in this. But technically, I want you to not worry about how it looks. I want you to be so good at setting things up that you can just have fun with an audition that you get and you don't have to worry about it. So there are four things that you need. And if you've seen this before, you know these four things. There are four things that you need to be able to make a very good looking self-tape. You need a light source, usually some sort of light that you're going to use. You need a camera, you need a microphone, and you need a background. So I'll go through all of those and explain how to use whatever you have in your own life. If you don't want to buy things or if it's difficult to get things right now, you can do it with probably a lot of stuff you have already. Okay. So the main thing you want to think about is that there's kind of there's a way that things are set up in a line. And I have it set up right here even for this class. So I have the light, which is facing me. That's a little bit away. And then the camera is the next thing. And there's also the microphone because there's a microphone attached to this. A lot of the things are the same. Like on a phone, you have a microphone and a camera. The camera and the microphone are next. And then the subject, which is me, and then the background. So if you have it in that order, it makes it look very even and neat. And you want it in a straight line, straight through. And when I say even, I just mean I want the lighting to be even. I don't want there to be shadows across your face. Right now, you can see all of my face. I'm not like the, Phantom of the Opera trying to like hide, half of it. So you want to just try to have an even lighting. You want to have a very neutral background. We can talk, you don't have to buy a background. You can use a wall that is neutral. And when I say neutral, I just mean not a lot of stuff. There's no paintings, there's no stuff going on, there's no design. It's just plain. And then for your camera, we'll talk about different things you could use because most people, if you're watching this right now on Zoom, then you probably have something that records video. So for the light, a lot of people will use something called a ring light. So I'm very sorry. I'm just like hiccuping. Oh, we have Joanna from St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome, welcome. So, someone asked what kind of lighting is best, soft yellow or bluish. Really, that depends on, I would say to go with in between. Yellow and blue, like go with like a more like neutral. because I think that will probably look best for you. The only reason you would turn it up like really yellow is if like you have like really it's coming off blue or something in a video. And if you are coming off very orange, then maybe add the blue light. But don't worry about that. Try to just make it look as the light as nice as possible. This is an example of a ring light. It has like a little setting here where you can turn it on. You can turn up the um, intensity so it gets uh, brighter. You can turn down the intensity so it gets like not as bright. And then this little button here is kind of going through the more blue, more yellow light. I always say go for the middle because I think that's best. Um, you can use natural light. Natural light can be something you use. Just know that natural light is fickle. If you happen to live in the Southwest United States, then you probably have it all day, every day, and that's great. So use it if you have it. If you do use it, I recommend facing the natural light. Don't put the natural light to the side of you because then you'll get shadows and it won't be as well lit. The main reason I want you to be well lit is so they can see your eyes. Not only are they pretty, but they're also where we see thoughts in people. That's where we see how people are feeling and thinking about a situation. So acting is in the eyes. So they want to be able to see your eyes. So as you can see, my eyes are lit and you can see them. You can tell the color. You can even see like the little ring around the side. You want to be able to make sure that they're not like the light isn't too high or too low. I don't recommend using overhead lights. I recommend turning them off and using a light. Even if you don't have a ring light, even if you don't have a fancy light, get yourself a lamp and put it on the other side of the camera so that at least it's very directional and it's coming from one place. The reason people use these is because they often will put a phone holder in the middle. This is a phone holder. You can put your phone right in the middle. You can open it up a little bit. It usually has some sort of mechanism to fit many different sizes. And then it has a little groove on the bottom, like a thread, that you can then put onto something that has a thread. It's usually like 1/4 inch, and there's a couple different sizes. And you can then put it on here, and it makes it easy for you to have a one and done situation. The only thing I would say about this, I recommend having a light and the camera separate only because when you have the light and the camera together, sometimes it's very bright and it'll wash you out and it'll make you look like you don't have any features. You're just kind of like a ghost. So I don't recommend that so much. I want to be able to see you and see your skin tone and your hair color and your eyes. But if that's what you have and that's what you use, cool. Another option is to purchase something. You have to put the light on something. Like you have to have something. You can either get a tripod. Those are, if you know what a tripod is, it has three legs and it's where you can put a camera usually. Also, you can get a light stand. They're very simple little structures that open up and then you can make it as tall as you need it. If you're taller, then you'll go higher. And then it also has that little thread there. So you can use it for many different things. I use it for the lights. Also, if I'm shooting, put another one for the camera, and there is one holding the background here. So it's good to have a couple. I think it's good to have a couple around because then you can use them. And this is if you're auditioning all the time. If you're not, then start off basic because then you'll look good, you'll feel good. And then once you do it more and more and you want to get stuff, then you get stuff. But the main thing is you want the light to be a little bit above the camera so there's not a sh crazy shadow on your face from where the camera is standing. A little bit up, and then I always say just like a little angle, very little angle down. So the light is coming down. It's not coming from below. It's coming very much almost eye level, just a little bit above. Okay. Very simple. Like I said, you can get box lights. You can get, there's so many different kinds of lights. You can get a panel. They have panel lights. I recommend doing LED if you can find one because they're not loud. They don't make any noise. And then they don't get too hot. They're kind of like just like a very simple, easy light, and it looks nice. Let me just see. So I answered that. You can do natural light. And Fox is giving some advice to make your own light kit. Thrift two old umbrellas, open them, cover in aluminum foil or paint silver. It will cast out shadows at 45 degrees from the main source. Great. If you want to do that, do it. That is a whole, you have fun because that is something that you can have fun with and you can make your own thing. Also, plant vitamin D light you can buy on Amazon and it has different colors. Great. And you can order at chicagoparkrec.com. Apparently is where you can rent tripods super cheap if you're in Chicago. Great. Very good to know. If you have eyes that really open up as wide as others, um, the main thing is even if your eyes don't open up as wide as everyone else's, that's okay. You don't have to be like this all the time. It would be kind of weird if everyone just acted like this. It was just very weird. Let your eyes be natural. But no matter what, if they're lit, they will see you. Okay? They will see you. They will see you. It's okay if you everyone's eyes are different. Everyone. The main thing is light yourself so that when that moment is where that you're going through something, they see it. That's my only opinion of that. Um, I don't recommend filming outside because there's noise and stuff that goes on, and then that's just the whole thing. I would do that if it's a specific commercial where they say, we want you to be in a park. Okay, well, they asked you to be in a park, so there you go. But for the most part, I would do it somewhere that it's quiet because you don't want to hear all the other noise. I'll be getting to that soon with the sound. Um, I would wear glasses if there's no reflection. So if you do wear glasses and you want to wear them and they have a non-reflective kind of thing, I would go up a little bit, maybe a couple inches higher than you would normally have the light, and then angle it a little bit more. You'll still look good. It won't be as straight on, but that helps you not have the glare on your eyes. Um, If you wear glasses and you don't want to audition with them, you just have to make sure that you can see the other person enough to be able to do it. But if you wear them and it's not like, you're not like totally, unable to see, if they're like a lighter, prescription, then it's up to you. You can wear them, but if the light blocks your eyes, then do different things with the light to make sure that we can see you. Okay. And if glasses are just part of you and who you are, then wear them. But it really, I would take them off as well. At one point, and that point is during the slate. I'll get to that in a little bit. That's just where you say your name. So, light, great. You can have more questions about light, that's fine, but I'm going to move forward. So, camera, you can use your computer. I'm using it right now. It looks pretty good. You can use your phone. Your phone has a great camera. You can set it up so you can actually see yourself while you're acting. If you are doing it by yourself and no one else is there, and you have someone like zooming in, from another or a phone call, like for the reader. The reader is the person who reads the other lines. I don't recommend doing it yourself because that gets a little weird and it's not live. I recommend having someone live, either in person or over the phone on Zoom or something, so that you have a natural reaction to them doing whatever they're doing. So for that reason, I would say, um, when you're shooting yourself at your home and you don't have someone else to push the button in the back of the phone, then have it be like face you, like the phone kind of do a selfie video. Always do it like this, which is horizontal, like a movie screen or a TV screen. Don't do it like TikTok or Instagram unless they specifically ask you because it's an audition for a commercial where they're going to be putting it on Instagram. But usually you want to film it like this. The thing I will tell you is that I want you to have your camera about eye level. Whether you use a fancy camera that's like Canon or Sony or Nikon, you can use that. They're beautiful. Actually, I use them because I'm here at the studio, so I use them, but I know how to use them. And so if you don't, if it's just something you have, I recommend learning how to do it and make sure the color looks good and make sure you're comfortable with it. And then once, if that's something you like, then do it. That's great. If you're specifically using something like a DSLR, which is what I just mentioned, like a Canon or a Nikon or a Sony, like a really good consumer or professional grade cameras, those don't have the best sound. Like phones and computers, the sound is great. The microphone is amazing. But if you're using one of those like fancy, cameras, you probably should have a microphone. You can buy microphones that clip right into the little mic cord. You can also, some people do Bluetooth. That's up to you. They get fancier all the time. You don't want it to sound bad. So if it sounds bad with the Bluetooth, I wouldn't use it. But if you're using a phone, so now just know you can use your phone or your computer. I just want it to be eye level. And so when you put your phone in one of these little things and then it's facing you, just you have to use a tripod or something to make it so it stays the same. You can't have someone hold it because it shakes too much. That's crazy. Even when you think you're not shaking it, it looks like it's like a documentary style. Um, you just want it to be eye level. You want to look right, you're probably not going to be looking into the camera much because when you're acting, you don't look in the camera unless you're playing a reporter. Which I do all the time, so I get to look at the camera. But usually you look right off of camera when you're talking to your scene partner, but you still want to be eye level so that you're not like this and that you're not like this, just trust me, it looks better. And it's what they expect, eye level. So if you have to get yourself a tripod or a light stand to do that, then I recommend looking into that. You can also just pile stuff up sometimes and make it work like books and things, and have it set up. So there's ways to do it. Okay. Um, so usually if you're using a computer and if you have a computer and you like the computer and it works well for you, then you can get yourself like a projector kind of stand that raises up and you just set the computer on that and it'll go up to your eye level. You can look into that. Those work pretty well. Or you can set it on something that is as high. I have found that for me, if I use like the ladder that I have, like the painting ladder, the little thing that turns over is the perfect height for me. You just don't want to be looking, like I said, up or down into the camera. For seated, it's a lot easier, but for auditions, I would say most of the time, unless specifically you're supposed to be seated in the scene, you should stand because there's more energy. You have more life in you. You have freedom to move around. When you're seated, you kind of get stuck like a robot. Good question. Amy says, I have a clip-on microphone. Should I hide it from the camera? Well, usually, just so you know, I always do a clip-on. I'll show you. This is a clip-on. A clip-on microphone is technically called a lavalier microphone. Um, and where is it? This is the microphone. This is the little bit that kind of will stop the wind, or if you touch it, it won't make as much noise. Um, And then if you have a little clip, let me show you what that looks like. So then you can put it inside like that, and there's a little clip, and then you clip that to your clothes. So what I always do is I just put it below my chest, like somewhere just above my belly button, because it usually picks it up really well. Like you don't have to talk so quiet and so loud. Like it's good. So I recommend just putting it below and then shoot the video so you don't see it. And if you do see it in the video, then crop it later in something like iMovie or CapCut or um, Clipchamp. Those are all video editing. Oh, thanks. I love this shirt. This is from thank you. It's a cool like 'cause Hulk smash, It's a great shirt. Um you can use this and you just have to make sure that it can plug in. If you're using your phone, you got to get sometimes something that will this microphone specifically, just look it up. Does it work with a phone? This one specifically does. Since I have an iPhone, I have to have a little bit of an adapter. You just have to look up what you can plug into your phone or whatever you use. It's annoying, but you got to do a little research. They're different. Like they're different for phones than they are, and phones and computers are different than a DSLR camera because phones and computers have microphones. They have that microphone that you can like talk into it too. So it's just a different kind of little plug. So you just research it, just make sure that what you're buying hopefully is what you need. But you just have to say, I'm getting this for a phone, or I'm getting it for like a camcorder or a camera. They're different. So I do hide it. I wouldn't hide it under your skin unless you're a professional sound person, because then it'll do that thing where it makes all that rubbing noise and it goes, just put it a little bit below where, like a little bit above your belly button. I think it works great. You just clip it on and you'll be all set. And you can crop it out. I use a microphone every time I audition, usually, unless I'm in a situation where I can't, because I like to just talk normal and not be too pushy with my voice. And so I can just talk like I'm talking to everyday people because that's what I recommend when you are doing auditions. There's a very different voice you have when you do theater. When you're doing theater, you project, you use your diaphragm. You're still going to you always use your diaphragm, but you don't have to be so loud. You're being very much like you're just talking to someone right there. Okay. Um, so when you use a microphone, you can really be natural and very chill. So that's why I recommend it, but you don't have to use it. The cameras on a phone and the microphone on a phone are so great that it takes care of it and you don't have to worry about it. I'm just picky. The last thing you need is a background. You can use a blank wall. You can use, like, I don't recommend a brick wall because that's distracting. Like, you don't need to see all that stuff. I want it to be very plain and simple. So, the colors I do recommend, gray is great. It usually looks good for everyone because it also makes your skin pop a little bit. The color of your skin comes out because there's gray behind you. On the other side of this is blue. Oh, and this is a pop-up background. So it is in like a circle. So when you fold it up, it's in like a circle like this big, and then it opens up and it clips. You can either clip it or you can just set it behind you. If you happen to have a wall that you can work on, you can just use a push pin or something, just or tape even to hold it up. The reason I use this, and a lot of people use this for auditions, especially for like very professional and for TV and film, the casting directors just want to see you acting. They don't want to be thinking about what's going on in your apartment or what's happening in the situation that you're in. Sometimes that takes them away from your good acting. Okay. So that's why I'm saying if you do all of these things and you try to have a very simple setup that works, then they can focus on you. And that's what this is all about. It's not about, making something that is like a fancy movie. You want it to look good, you want it to sound good, and you want it to be professional. Um, but you just it's not a movie. It's a simple video that you're showing them so then they can think about putting you in their movie. Okay. Oh, thank you, Corey, for telling me how it's pronounced. That's cool. Bemidji. Okay. Um, the backgrounds that come on your phone, can you edit it out, edit it or not? Um, I don't recommend having a fake background. If you have to do the thing where like on Zoom or your iPhone or whatever, it you can make it so that the background fades away. The only reason I wouldn't do that is sometimes when you move, like things get pixelated. Like sometimes your hair, your ear, or whatever. And be a human being and moving is like part of acting. So my only recommendation is only use that when you have to. If not, just have a very simple background. Even if it's a wall, just take stuff off the wall. You can definitely use white for a background. I don't recommend using green. I know that that's a popular thing to have because people do really cool TikTok videos for green screen. But like that's for specifically green screen, which is a type of special effects. And so when casting directors see it, they think that you're doing something green screen. It's not their preferred thing. If you have to use it, then use it. But if you can use another color besides the bright green that is used for green screen, then do that. You can use other colors as well, but I would keep it super simple and neutral. So they're not looking at the color and thinking, oh, I want to paint my place that. Um, this background is made by a company named Neewer. I will show you right now what it says. It's spelled like this. Is that should be the right way? I don't know. It's backwards on my vision, but I think that's just Neewer. It is a pop-up background with gray and blue. And I bought it on Amazon, but if you don't use Amazon, you can probably find it at other places online or in person at a photo video store. I think they sell it or things like it at if you're in New York City, there's a few different like very fancy like B&H and Adorama where you can go and pick it up. But most people will order it, and that's okay. You can also order it from B&H if you want to. You can order anything. I mean, come on. Like we live in this world now. So again, I don't say you have to have this. You can also use, some people will get uh, 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 it's a background that they buy, but it is very much like a sheet that they put up on a pole and it hangs. The only thing with that is that you can see the wrinkles a lot. Like you can see a little bit of the wrinkles on this, but not enough to be like, oh, that's really wrinkly because it pulls it out to the sides. With a sheet, sometimes it's you just see the wrinkles, and that's up. And some people do get one that's a little bit like textured. It almost looks like painted. I would just do, if you do that, do muted, like more deeper kind of muted colors. If you have really dark skin, don't get a really dark background. If you have very pale skin, don't get a very light background. You want to be different from your background. Um, so that's just my opinion. Some people have really great backgrounds, like black ones that look great, but first of all, I don't think anyone should be on that because it looks too like you're trying to be too serious. And like I'm an actor, but like no, use a simple basic gray because like that's what everyone uses. Um, uh, but if that's what you have, then use it. Just know that I recommend not using it. Um, Good question, Amy. Are the colors of your clothes important? The main thing you want to do with your clothes when you're auditioning is that you want to kind of give the feeling that you could be this character. Do not wear a costume. If you're playing a cop, do not go out and buy a cop uniform unless you are a cop. You can, I mean, I'm just saying, I think it's disrespectful to go out and pretend that you don't ever buy a uniform. If you are a police officer or a former police officer or any kind of um, you know uh, role like in the military or firefighters, those people they work all the time. In New York, it's great, but they are those things. They're not putting on a suit. When I am hired to play something, they will give me a costume. I'm not gonna, go buy it myself. If you do get auditions for roles like that, I recommend going as close as you can by wearing something like a dark navy button down or a dark navy polo, tight or fitted like long sleeve or short sleeve shirt. Like when you see it, you think, oh, that I get it. I get why they're wearing it. You don't have to be wearing a costume. Um, so just think about it more like where is this person and what makes me not think about their clothing? So if you're playing a lawyer or a doctor, you probably wouldn't wear this t-shirt to your audition only because it looks like I'm just like a regular guy, like a dad or just a regular guy who likes comic books. But this isn't professional for the purpose of filming. It's not. You need to wear like a suit or at least have a button down with maybe a tie. Um, just try to look as professional as possible when you have those kinds of professional roles. But same thing for when you're playing something super casual, just wear something just kind of that you think don't wear any print, too distracting. But, I think always like flannel and like t-shirts without any print on it look great for casual roles. They look nice. I wouldn't wear any too much patterns, like nothing too patterny, because sometimes flannel's great because it's like block colors, they're big block colors. Um, you can always wear layers, like you can always wear like a jacket because sometimes the roles are outside or just people wear jackets. If it's a little bit more of like a tough role, you can always just honestly wear a hoodie, like a dark hoodie, blue or black. It just says that you could be tough. Because I'm just saying, there's so many different kinds of roles that I can't like tell you specifically what to wear, but just watch some television and just see what those types of roles are wearing, and then try to make sure it looks like it could fit in. Oh, Fox, you're giving us great, great advice. If you're near a college, you can at the end of the year often buy old but well cared for equipment. That's great. Yeah, look around. Universities and colleges are always getting rid of stuff. Um, And also, when all the students move out, they usually have like little sales and things for selling all their stuff. So that's the technical stuff. Okay. All right. So when you're actually filming the audition, there's a few different aspects that you will usually be asked to do. You'll be asked to film the scene or scenes, and film them all separately. So don't just film it and one scene and go into the next one. Like film them separately so you have a file, a video file for each of them. And the best thing about being at home is if you mess up, you do it again. You just try it again. Um, I know that this will probably fall on deaf ears at first because everyone gets nervous and you want it to be really good. I recommend not doing it too many times because we are our own worst critics. And as long as you get it and it looks good and sounds good and you like it enough, send it that way. Don't try to get it exactly how you have it in your head because how you have it in your head isn't always right. And sometimes when we think we're messing up, we're actually giving them some really good stuff. And I don't mean messing up the lines. I mean like when you like do weird little things in a scene that you're like, I did not plan that, or I didn't, it's not how I wanted to say that. Sometimes that's what will get you cast. So I recommend at first do it as many times as you need to feel comfortable. But once you start sending them in and you start auditioning and just allow yourself to do just a few takes and then pick your favorite one. If you're going to do more than one take of each scene, so that each scene you can do more than one take, I would maybe do two, unless they specifically ask you for like three. Sometimes for commercials, they do. When they do that, or when you decide to send more than one take, that just means you need to have it be different. And by different, I mean just a different opinion, a different kind of vibe, like a different attitude, a different mindset. Same you, but like let's say you start off the scene, a little bit like worried and you end it, happy, and maybe you do the other take where you start off a little bit like freaked out and then you end it like confident. Like those are it's the same scene, but you're just coming at it from different ways. So don't just do two takes that are exactly the same or similar because they don't need to see it twice. It's not necessary. And then you will always usually be asked to do a slate. And oftentimes they will ask you to do a slate separately. A slate is where you will say your name, often your height, where you live. Sometimes they ask you specific questions. Sometimes for commercials, they will ask you to talk about yourself. If they ask you to talk about yourself, keep it pretty chill and keep it very like not too long, 3 or 4 sentences is all you really need about whatever you're talking about. Like keep it. Um, and so I'm going to show you now what. Oh wait, if you. Yeah, if and Box is just saying if you have a tattoo and you don't want to show it, just make sure you have tattoo makeup, or you can use set spray without makeup. Yeah, so those are options. Yeah, if you have tattoos and you don't want to show them, then that's that. But if you don't always have to hide them depending on the role. Blue eyes look great with a blue background, but sometimes it doesn't look great with your skin and hair, so you just have to try it out. Um, Corey, thank you. Basically, read the role, put your artistic aspect into what that role would be, but keep it simple and don't overdo it. Yes, that is my opinion. But I'm not here to teach you acting. I'm just telling you how to like do things, but that is a great advice for acting. For your slate, you definitely want to keep it. Slate is where you get to be yourself. You get to be, you don't want to be like too like, hey, huh, like unless that's you. But you just want to be, like, hi, I'm meeting someone for the first time through this video. So just be your best self like you would for an interview. Hi, my name is Shawn Allen McLaughlin. I'm 5'11", and I live in Brooklyn, New York. Like just very basic things, but if you come off with that you're actually like are those things, then it seems like you're a real person. I'm going to show you real fast the difference between sometimes they ask you to put the slate and at the end of your takes and all the takes together. So I'm just going to show you the difference between doing a scene. So this is just an example of an audition where I had to do a scene. It's not that long. I don't even remember what it's for. Share sign. All right, here we go. Barney, Grace, good morning. How are we feeling?
Squeamish.
There's nothing to be concerned about. This is a very simple procedure with a quick recovery. You'll have to take it easy for a couple weeks, but otherwise, ice and Advil should take care of the discomfort and swelling.
You're gonna castrate me and not let me even enjoy the recovery?
I'll call you in some Percocet.
Maybe some Demerol too? That stuff really agrees with me. He'll take the Percocet.
All right. So that's an example of a scene. As you could see, I was not looking straight at the camera. I was looking at whoever was reading with me. There were two people, so I just had to make sure I looked at two people and I knew who I was looking at. That's something you kind of have to figure out when you're doing your scene and who's in it. And you just have to just move through it, just do the scene. And then for a slate, this is what that slate was. I don't even remember what they needed, but same outfit. My name is Shawn Allen McLaughlin. I'm 5'11". I live in Brooklyn, New York, and yes, I am a New York local hire. And if you need to do a full body slate, I recommend doing them separate and putting them together, but that's just how I do it. Um, it is tough to get your full body in a wide shot. Yes, Ruri, I can show that again. I'll show you the other one. Share. Uh, this is the scene. Barney, Grace, good morning. How are we feeling?
Squeamish.
There's nothing to be concerned about. This is a very simple procedure with a quick recovery. You'll have to take it easy for a couple weeks, but otherwise, ice and Advil should take care of the discomfort and swelling.
You're gonna castrate me and not let me even enjoy the recovery?
I'll call you in some Percocet.
Maybe some Demerol too? That stuff really agrees with me. He'll take the Percocet.
There you go. I shared it for you a second time. All right, so I did them separately, and you upload them separately for wherever they have you send it. Sometimes they, thank you, Riri. Sometimes they have you send it to an email or a Dropbox. Sometimes usually they'll have you, um, you know, uh, just upload it to whatever site it is you're using. Like I said, there's sites that you will get your castings from. Sharon, if there happens to be multiple characters off screen, would you recommend multiple readers? Um, and then you ask, or can the other person try out their voiceover skills? Haha. Good question. I understand. Your reader should really just be reading the lines. They shouldn't be full out acting it. They should not be like, "Hi, my name is this," but they talking like people talk, but they are going to read everything. Your job is to put wherever the other characters are and whoever those other characters are, your job is to create the relationship that you have with them. So you don't need more than one person. They should read everything. It gets too complicated. That would be way too complicated. And yeah, it doesn't matter. A man can read women's lines, a woman can read man's line. It doesn't matter. They're just hearing the sound of the words and understanding the scene, and they're not seeing them. So it's really just helpful to be able to figure that out. Um, I'm glad you got great info, Freya. Joanna, I'm happy about that. You're welcome. You're welcome, Sharon. I'm going to play one more video and then I'll let you guys go. Um, this one is an example where they wanted the two um, takes and then the slate at the.
No, I do. I have. But I'm glad I come off some spinster who just tucks myself into bed at night, says a prayer, and falls asleep. I think you're reading into something here. I am not my mother.
Mrs. Morelli, I just wanted to check in and see if you had any idea of your ETD. We have a
I do
few
not.
extra.
I will come to you when we're finished, and I would have killed for this level of attentiveness when my mother was actually in this room. No, I do. I have. But I'm glad I come off as some spinster who just tucks myself into bed at night, says a prayer, and falls asleep. I think you're reading into something here. I am not my mother.
Mrs. Morelli, I just wanted to check in and see if you had any idea of your ETD. You see, we have a
I
couple
do
of.
not. I will come to you when we're finished. I would have killed for this level of attentiveness when my mother actually was in this room.
Hi, my name is Shawn Allen McLaughlin. I'm 5'11 and my home base is Brooklyn, New York.
All right. That is an example of putting two takes together. Those two takes were very different. Had different things going on, and then the slate was at the end. How do you get to read for the show part that I wish to audition? You have to find the audition castings online and submit for them. Um, but I mean, yeah, you gotta find it. I had an audition request where I had to record a car screen. I never did it. Was confused. Would I use the backdrop? Um, a car scene. Yeah, you can do. You just be in the car and you talk to the person next to you if they're right next to you right here, and then you look out and you drive. If you have to drive, and you look in the mirror and you look to the side. If someone comes over and talks to you to the side, you talk to them there, but you face out, and then you use a backdrop. Wayne, we got you. Thank you, Ramon. Jose, you're very welcome. Well, if they ask for a full body slate, you have to show them your full body. So you have to do it somehow. You can put a picture, you can put a video. I put them together in an editing software. Thank you, Ramon, and thank you, Julie. So, to help edit your tapes, if you use any Apple products, I would recommend iMovie. That works great. Clipchamp is something that is used. It's through like the Microsoft world. I also use CapCut. You can also use things like Canva, even they have video. So those are apps that are available to help you edit your tapes. Um, I'm glad you liked it, Carol. So that's pretty much it. Um, I, I wouldn't use TikTok for editing. I mean, maybe you can. I use CapCut, which is owned by TikTok, but like CapCut is you can do lots of things and not just TikTok videos. Um, Fox, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yeah, I love comic books. And I just finished rereading what is it like Invincible? No, no, no. I'm forgetting right now. Immortal Hulk. It's a really great series. Um, Jasper, you're very welcome. I hope you do as well. And InShot, Kai, that's an app. InShot, INSHOT. Thank you, Kai. You're welcome, Steve. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Okay. Um, oh, good. Oh, good. I haven't read that yet, Fox, but I will pick it up. Ashley, you're very welcome. And you, same to you. You can email 99 and ask them for a copy of the Zoom. I've heard that if you click on the link later, then maybe it'll be there. Like the link that you came to watch this, like apparently it's there later. But you can email Justin and ask for it. Iman, oh, you're very welcome, and I'm glad to hear it. Um, and Willa, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you missed me. But that's okay. We're here now. Deanna, you're very welcome. You're welcome, Dee. I appreciate you, Kennard. Thank you for coming back. The app is either InShot, InShot, InShot. That was the app. Amy, I thank you for saying that, and I appreciate you. It's really great. Corey, I hope you have a good weekend as well. You're welcome, Lloyd. I'm glad you thought I was professional. Um, Sharon, I have to work more on my yes, on my vacation video, cruise to nowhere. You're welcome. You're welcome, Rob. You're welcome, Robert. And oh, good, you found it. And you're welcome, Joanna. You found InShot. And Robert, thank you for thinking I was awesome. That's very sweet. Joanna, it would be great to work with you as well. I always love working with people that we've had things before because you never know in life. Sometimes you meet them on set. You have a great weekend as well. And Dina, I'm glad you thought it was informative because I hope it was. Riri, I'm glad you learned a lot and you're very welcome. And Stephanie, you're very welcome, and I will see you next time as well. Okay, everyone, have a great weekend. I know that we're heading off into the holiday season, so happy holidays to everyone. And whatever you do, I know we just finished Ramadan, so happy Ramadan if that just finished. But happy Passover, happy Easter. Steve, you're very welcome. Oh, good. I'm glad that that helps seeing what I did because I'm just showing you it's not difficult, but you just have to practice it. And Andre, I'm glad thank you. That's very sweet. And you're very welcome. Alton, you're very welcome. And Ramon, uh, thank you. Um, you're welcome, Sharon. Yeah, it's fun to try this stuff out. And love and respect to you, Ramon. All right, everyone. You're welcome, Bryce. Well, we've all, a lot of us did theater in high school, so that's good that you have that experience. You're welcome, Stephen. All right, I'm gonna go. Bye, everyone.